Felicia Saraceno here from sunny South Florida, Southwest Florida. I'm in Naples to be exact, and we serve everywhere from Marco Island all the way up to Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and all in between. Been down here for about 10 years now. And I am so glad that you're all here today learning about the senior niche. How many of you, this is your first call? Put a one in the chat if it's your first call.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Awesome. Welcome. So we are making sure that we're going to ask you a couple of wins. And does anyone have any wins that they would like to share that have happened in the past week? Anything exciting happening? Did you get a new client? Did you sign a new two in contract? Way to go, Kelly. That's awesome. Congratulations.
I met with the caring transition coordinator this morning. I was really excited about that.
Yes. How did that go? Tell us about it.
It went great. He's happy to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also has a move management team and a placement. They're a placement agent company, so he gave me permission to add their names to my senior roadmap, which I'm really
Yeah.
excited about because I want to get that going and get that out. And yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah. So the senior roadmap's part of our blueprint process that we have. And there's a couple of students that are actually charging for that real estate to be part of that. Some of them just put their partners on them, their BOD, their board of directors on, and that's part of being on the BOD. But
Mhm.
it is changeable, right? It's changeable as you grow and as you kind of evolve. And I have a couple of them created. I don't give the same one out all the time because it might be a different area. It might be a little bit of a different price point that everybody charges as you kind of figure that piece out. But it's always good to have some resources together. Excuse me.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was told me he's happy to allow me to put their names on it, and he's very happy to work with me. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Fabulous. Now, did you talk to him about how he can support you in your business?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
And did he give you, or did you give him some rules of engagement or guideline of what that's going to look like?
Um, Not quite yet. We were just talking. We're going to meet again.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. So yeah, we'll get to that. We just were learning about each other and how we could help each other and where to go from here. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it
It
takes.
has It does take some time, but you do have to read the rules of engagement. And if you guys are, this is your first time here, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Um, Everybody wants a partner, but are they truly a partner? Are they truly someone that's going to help build your business as much as you can build theirs? And one of the things is reading them the rules of engagement. And you have to create your own rules of engagement. I can't create that for you, but we can do a little bit of, role play. And some of the rules of engagement pieces are, how are you going to be able to support my business and giving us senior referrals, right? And this is our focus. This is your vendors, your whoever you want to call them, your bod, your vendor, your partner. It's their focus. Now, this one, take for instance from Tamara, because we're just kind of doubling down on this right now, is they're a caring transitions team. So they do placement, they have move management. So yeah, they're moving a lot of folks in every month, right? So what you have to do is ask them if they're willing and able to ask their clients 3 questions for you. So I know a lot of you may know me and know that I always ask 3 questions, and I kind of change them up depending on the person and the relationship. But my 3 favorite questions are, when you're meeting with your client, are you asking them if they have a house to sell? Number one. Number two, would they be willing to meet with someone that is a real estate agent that only focuses on working with seniors and the transitions and the life changes that they're going through? Why do I say it that way? Because the average agent doesn't understand all of the complexities of working with a senior client. We're all leveling up to learn this piece. And I know you all were on last week. Some of you were on, some of you weren't. And I was talking to someone at an event yesterday that I was at, and I was leading yesterday. And we were talking about the incident that happened down here where an elder law attorney got involved because a real estate transaction happened and the seller, they had moderate stage dementia and the adult child challenged it 3 months after the fact. And the buyers had to move out of the house and they had to unravel the entire transaction. Folks, this stuff happens all the time. We just don't hear about it. There was a lot going on with that to unpack. So just know that the buyer sued the agent that sold them the house. They sued the brokerage. They sued the seller, the listing agent. They sued the listing broker. I mean, it's a hot damn mess. Imagine living in a home for 3 months and you're starting to paint and do stuff too. And now you have to move out because a judge ruled in favor that this senior was not in their right mind to sign. So these are things we talk about. So that's just a little sidebar on that. And then my third question that I have them ask. So the first one was, do they have a house to sell? Second, are you willing to meet with an agent? And the third question is, do they need the funds of this property to pay for their next level of living? Now, I'll tell you a story that happened this past week to one of our clients. And I know the answer to a lot of these questions, but I always check with my professionals first. Because even though we may know a simple solution to an issue, we want to make sure that our clients are feeling comfortable with us and get the best information. I have a current listing that's on the market right now. The seller moved into senior living. She has macular degeneration, can't really see that well, and her power of attorney is helping with an attorney. And they're starting to run out of funds. So the power of attorney contacted me the other day and said, we want to do a cash out refi, or we want to do a reverse mortgage on the house so that we can be able to have some cushion in the bank. Well, you can't do a reverse mortgage if the house is listed. And the cash out refi, maybe different programs that are out there. And so before I answered her, my answers to it, I said, let me reach out to my loan officers because there could be a new program that we don't know about, right? So I reached out, got my answers. You can do a cash out refi, but it's an exorbitant amount of fees. We discussed what those fees were on her price point of her home. And they did make a decision to drop the price significantly to start a flurry of offering. Oh, I don't know who's recording, but okay. And so what ended up happening was we dropped that price and we got multiple offers in one day, which is going to be a better option for her to get that property sold. We also discussed, well, I know, and I like to use whole numbers. I know she wants to walk away with $400,000. but she's probably going to only walk away with 375. So now this client is saying, well, geez, it's 25,000 less than we really wanted. And I say to them, well, have you thought about working with your financial advisor to try and make up that $25,000? I'm sure she doesn't need all 300,000 of that 375,000, and maybe they can invest it with a product to make up that $25,000 difference in the next year. And they were like, I never thought of that. This is what we do in this industry as the listing agent. No, you are not a financial advisor. You are not a CPA. Some of you may be. But the idea is we have to provide solutions for them to their objections because they're in such a state of crisis that we have to be the level heads for them. And this is where I came in yesterday. This all happened on Monday and Tuesday. And now Wednesday, we're sifting through offers right now. And we came up with the best solutions for the issue. And of course, I want that property to sell for as high as possible because we get paid on that. But in all actuality, hurricane season is less than 30 days away from us, which means properties will sit until October unless they're priced very aggressively. Just the way it goes. And we have an abundance of inventory. So we have to pivot and shift to see how we can help our clients get this to the solution that they want the best. Now, I tell you that story because please use it, utilize it, write it down, use it as a tool for you to be able to help people. And just say, a colleague of mine, whatever you want to call me, your coach, whatever it is, this was a scenario that they went through and this was the solution. And that's what we provide, solutions. Now, on the flip side, when the power of attorney came in, I knew who she was because we asked questions, right? And when do we ask questions when do we ask questions about who the power of attorney is? Shout it out.
First meeting.
First meeting.
First
right.
meeting. Yep.
Heck yeah. First meeting. Such an easy thing to weave into that conversation. And for those of you who are new, it's real simple when you're sitting down with someone talking about listing. How many kids do you have? Oh, you don't have any kids? Well, do you have a friend or a family member that's a power of attorney for you who's here to help you with decisions through all of this? Oh, yeah, it's my niece. Yes.
So I got a referral from a California agent for a senior seller here in Montana. And I did ask her if she had a power of attorney on our first meeting. And then this referral agent called me after the meeting. And he told me that I overstepped, that I was getting too personal and that's none of my business. And I frankly said, I ask everybody about their power of attorney, regardless of their age. But it's even more so important because she's in her mid-70s. And the way that she was talking, I mean, there's something there. I don't know what it is. And so and he's like, oh, well, I'm going to go check with my other agents in my office that have 20, 30 years of experience. And I was like, that's fine. I mean, I work almost solely with seniors in the community. And so I do this day in and day out. But it really got me thinking about the appropriateness. I know that it's appropriate to ask for a power of attorney, and I don't think that I'm overstepping, but how does it come off to other people? And it kind of scares me that other agents are asking this question. So just kind of wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a great job. And at the end of the day, here is the thing. If you have a driver's license, you should have a power of attorney. You should have advanced directives. Do you have an organ donor on your driver's license? Do you have a DNR? You should have one. That's education, right? A lot of people are not educated about this because they haven't hit a spot in their career where this has become an issue. In the past month and a half, I've had 2 sellers become incapacitated, meaning that they can't make decisions on their own, and a doctor has written a letter about that. If you don't know who their family is, you're dead in the water with that sale. If you're midway through a transaction, it's a problem. And Kelly wrote, you have to explain why. He probably doesn't understand the issues with working with older clients. Absolutely. But in order to us to avoid ageism, I ask all my clients this. I ask all of them. Because at the end of the day, it opens the door for me to hear if they have a senior parent that they're caring for. Because some of them say, geez, I don't even have a power of attorney. Well, you should get one. Do you have a will? Where's this house going? It's just a conversation to have. And it's all in your approach. And when I talk to them like I'm talking to you all. I talk to them like I'm talking to a friend. We're here to help you because your house is typically your largest asset. Mm-hmm. And God forbid, because this happened to me as well. God forbid, somebody gets into a car accident and doesn't.
Thinking every single senior seller I have, the senior know their family.
Yes, yes. I once went to my listing and I saw someone peering in the window like this. And I go, oh, hi, I'm here to see so-and-so. And she's like, you didn't hear? And I said, hear what? What did I miss? They were in a wrong way accident and hit someone head on in a collision yesterday and they died on impact. My first thing that went through my brain, because I knew who the power of attorney was and they lived in a different country, but I knew she had a dog. And I was like, where's the dog? Who has the dog? Is the dog still in the house? No, luckily when it happened, they had called the adult children and the adult children called the neighbor to take care of the dog. But these things happen all the time. And this was a very, very, very young senior that this happened to. And it was pretty devastating to the adult children, as you can understand. I have so many stories. It's not funny because I've been doing this for quite some time. But yeah, Beth, you're 100% right. Pretty much people, but when I'm also working with someone that's been referred to me by a senior living community or by a senior placement, I pretty much know a little bit about their backstory. They tell me, they loop us in. Not that we need to know every last detail about them, but they do loop us in. I had someone who was referred to me last week. They're not moving into a senior living community here. They're going up to, I think, Washington, and they're moving up there. And their house is highly cluttered. And we're working together to come up with a plan for them so that they're not overwhelmed. Because on top of the house being super cluttered, they have a few storage units as well full of furniture. So it's a lot. It's a lot that needs to get going and get through for a July move. So it's double house stuff because they bought a house turnkey down here. But that's how I would approach it and say, invite them to this call. I'd love to have you learn more about the senior niche and how we're supporting our folks as they're moving through the aging process and selling their long-time home. It's very important. Even with first-time home buyers. Everyone, post-closing, question of the day is always, post-closing, did you update your will? What a great way to feed your elder law attorney a referral. Kimmer, yes.
The questions. So when you refer them to the attorney and you have people in your BOD, are you referring just those, or do you have like more than one estate planner?
Great question. So when you start out, of course, you have to start out somewhere. So you start out with one. What I quickly learned, because before being in this industry, I was an executive director and a sales director for assisted living and memory care in 2 states. So I have been a licensed administrator for senior living. And the thing to know is not all estate attorneys charge the same amount for the same thing. I have one elder law attorney in town that charges $1,200. I have another one that's just shy of $3,000, and I have another one that's over $5,000. And I made the mistake when I was new to this area about almost 10 years ago of saying, hey, go see XYZ person, not knowing what they charged, not knowing that there's a difference within that, right? I was just trying to get the problem solved and said, here, go to them. And that person coming back to me completely ticked off that I sent them to someone who wanted to charge them $5,000 for their estate planning. And that is when I started to say, oh, well, I got to slow down in order to speed up and start getting some options. Now, in real estate, we always give options for inspector, right?
Right.
No, in my state, I have to give 3. Some places are more, some places are less, depending on your state that you live in, right? And so I have 3. And what I do is I don't tell them the pricing of it because it's not my business to tell that, but I put them in the order of these are the 3 for you to call. 1, 2, 3, and they figure it out on their own. And I give them those options. Now, if I'm going somewhere and money isn't an object because, Naples is comprised of single family homes. The average single family home here is around 700. But then we have this little crazy area. It's called Port Royal, where the average price of the home is over 20 million. Completely 2 different clients.
1 million?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
We just have the highest priced real estate right now at 275 million. I mean, it's right on the water. It's 15 acres. And by the way, it's a tear down.
Oh my gracious. 275 million for a tear down?
It's a
no
tear.
way.
It has 16 bathrooms and I think like 10 bedrooms. It's crazy. There's multiple houses.
Must be right on the water.
It is. It's 15 acres. All 3 sides are on the water.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to live there anyways. I digress though, because of hurricanes, just saying. Probably why it's a tear down. But the whole part about it is you just don't know what your client's resources are. And we don't assume, we insure. So we give multiple options. So as you start building your bod, building your board of directors, building those people who are going to be there for you to help service all of your clients, what I do is I stack them up. Because as you start learning this, doing the conversations just like Tamara had, I can tell you that I just moved this client that I'm in her house for over to senior living, and she just moved in, and they only partner with one mover in town. It's not who I partner with. And when I said to the the seller who's moving out, I said, okay, she's like, I don't know who to have for moving. And the way it came across to her was that specific mover was the only one allowed in that senior living community.
Oh.
And she said to me, is that true? Because I want to make sure that they're not going to overcharge me. And I said to her, you have a choice for whoever you want to use to move you. I'm happy to call, it's a brand new, it's actually someone from their corporate office filling in right now. I said, I'm happy to call them and just, have a conversation with them to say, hey, they want to get some quotes. They kind of feel like you're forcing them to use this company that's over $3,000 for a 1-bedroom move.
Yes.
And they want options.
Right.
And do you have a sole agreement with them? And I found out, no, they don't. It's just who they prefer to use.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, you're free to use whoever you want. The perception from the seller, and this is the mindset that happens, was that she didn't want to cause any waves in the senior living community, and she went with the $3,000 mover.
Wow. Okay.
She was
That makes,
afraid,
yeah.
and this is what happened. She was afraid to make that decision, and her adult child was not here. And I said, whatever makes you more comfortable makes me more comfortable. But no, you have options.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just nice to have those options for them.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
And
that
as a quick follow-up, when you have those three different options for them, and you're going to do an event, I know you do event every single month, but you're going to do a big event. How do you choose which one to have at your event, or do you have you make it open to all of them to tell us?
First off, when I do speaking engagements, not everyone is a speaker. Remember that.
Okay.
And you have to go and listen to them speak to see if they jive with your jive. And so I normally will rotate them out, and I'll start with one, see what the feedback is, and then I go to another one. I'm down to about 3 senior move managers that I use, right? I have done events with all 3 of them, but one of them does a knockdown job, just my preferred.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is when we do events, and once you get into that education space of doing an event, I'm not always the leader of it. I want them to invite me and for me to just come in to talk about my expertise. So it's a 2-way partnership, right? Events are exhausting. It's an hour to get there. You're going to be there for an hour. You got to clean up. So it's like 4 hours of your day, and you want to make the most of it. So I really like when I'm just a guest at some of these events. Now, if someone is not asking me to be part of their events, and I see that they're doing events like this and not using an agent, I give them opportunities to say why they can use an agent as a guest speaker. So it's like you have to carve out that path, and it's rotating. And that's perfectly fine. You can rotate. I do have my favorite, but I'm not always a driver in everything. So I hope that helps to answer your question. Now,
yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Make sure that you click on the Facebook group to join. We're trying to grow our Facebook group, grow this call, make sure we're getting the word out there. I think Diana had to jump off, but just like she had said, this is something that is so important for us to focus on. These calls are meant to be interactive with you. We want to hear what's going on. And sometimes my agenda is not your agenda. And I'm okay with that. We want to be able to help you. And the other thing about it is I will be on vacation in June, but I'm going to have some awesome speakers for you to come in to teach you about things such as smart home watch and all of this smart AI stuff that's coming in, down to light bulbs that will tell you if you have fall detected in the home. It's wild. Some senior living communities are doing it already. And then I do have a doctor coming on. She is focused on geriatric care management, and she's going to be talking all about Alzheimer's and dementia and just some red flags to be doing and thinking about as we're working with our clients. But it also protects you so that you are aware as we work through this journey with some of our clients that are in their 80s, 90s. I'm still working with a client that's 98 years old right now. We sold 1 property, but she's got 4 more to go. before she could move into senior living. We got to make sure that we all work together on these types of things to help. If there's something that you would like to hear or to focus on, let me know. Just shoot me a message on Facebook. Sometimes it might take me to the evening to get through to it, but I always do. So just to let you all know, this call happens every week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We also have our blueprint, which is, I'm just getting my charger out. My computer is dying, go figure. So we have the blueprint where folks are starting to dive into the senior niche focused real estate sector at a deeper level with templates and modules. It's a 12-week program. And then our 2.0 folks, we meet in person Wednesdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. So right after this. And after they're done with the 2.0, they get to take a test and get a certification. So it's really fun and exciting. The other thing that we're doing is for everyone who joins the blueprint this month, they get entered in to win 2 one-on-one sessions with me on deep diving into your business. And for all of our members that have already joined, you're already in that. So if you refer someone, you get another entry. And it's a great way for us to deep dive into how to focus your business and what your drivers need to be. I'm working with a team in San Francisco and a team in New Jersey on this right now too, just to help them be able to deep dive into that. Now, before we go, we went over a few minutes. Does anyone have any last thoughts or ahas? Did you find this helpful?
Yes, very.
Awesome, fabulous. Well, we want you to. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure to join the Facebook group. And at the end of the day, I want all of you to be able to excel at this and start making money, but learning is so important as well. So thank you all for joining, and I'll see you next week.